Welcome to the Raise Up Mindset podcast with your hosts, Charlie and Athena Grimm.
Hey, it's episode 2, season 2. And riseupmindset.com. Holy tamale. We're in our second season. This is episode 42 of season 2 of episode 2.
Yes.
We're 222.
Yes, well, 42 is the total episodes that we've done so far.
But if you divide 4 into 2, it's 222. So I try to make this humorous. It's got to be fun.
Okay, so yes.
Episode 2, season 2, you're here. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for coming. RaiseUpMindset.com. Woohoo.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about...
I'd like to say we're sponsored by Stanley, but we're not.
We're going to be talking about our coaching style, hiring, delegation, and growth in this one. So this is going to be a live one, especially going over some of these questions with Charlie already. I'm learning stuff while you're learning stuff. It's great.
We're all learning. See? It works.
Okay, so we're going to dive right into the questions. What's your personal hiring philosophy, and how has it evolved as your business has grown?
Don't hire all your best friends and don't hire all your family members. Like, that could be a disaster. Like that's like putting fertilizer with like gasoline and diesel. I mean, like, you're just mixing the whole thing together. You're just like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Hope is your plan.
Yeah. If hope's your plan, it's not a plan. It's a disaster. You guys, I mean, listen. I mean, you got to really, just because your buddy can drink a beer with you doesn't mean he's your CFO. I mean, like, if he's cashing the ticket out and he gives you the receipt at the end of it, it's like, that's not your best person to do it. You want to use trusted people and you want to do it, but you want to use the most qualified people. I think in season 2, episode 1, we talked about the right person in the right seat. As you start to scale and stuff like this, don't get me wrong, like, I remember driving our first 2 limos and a bus up, and we bandwagoned all of our friends, and we all drove up from Las Vegas up to here and went through Canada, and we picked up a few more friends in Seattle. My wife came up and met with us, and we were bandwagoning it up. But you don't know what you don't know. So as you start to evolve and you start doing more things, like you want to hire more confident people, more people that are the best seated person for the position. And now it's like to the point like. As CEO and president of the company, I get people calling me all the time saying, hey, my kid needs a job, or, hey, my husband's looking for some part-time work, or, I have people off the North Slope. Hey, what do you think? And I'm like, hey, that sounds great and everything like this. And then my wife reminds me, like, they have to go through the process and everything, going through our hiring team. And so I've adopted that. Like, listen, if it can't pass the sniff test of my HR team, it just can't go past that point. Like, I can only push so far and then have them do the role that they're supposed to do in our company. But I've sometimes pushed that balance a little bit more. Like, hey, this is going to be a great fit. I really believe in this person, and it's backfired. And so now I'm like, listen, if it doesn't pass the criminal background check, our driving test, all the things that we have that are critical, incremental things, why we have great insurance and things like this, we can't do it. I mean, hey, love your brother, but sorry. This is just not the job for you, and if your kid is able to work, he'll pass all of our tests, but you can't. So, I mean, it has to be able to pass your levels of tests in this. And get me wrong, 25 years ago when we started BAC Transportation, BAC Limousine back then, it was all hands on deck. We were using our friends and people like that, and they were loving making the extra money, but, things have changed. Evolution, over 250 employees, you have to have a different hiring technique, and ours is a little bit differently now than it was 25 years ago.
Substantially different. And I would say that my answer would be we're hiring for character, not just capability.
Yeah. Character would be one of the things that we're hiring for, and like hopefully have some skill sets also, just not character. I mean, personality. I mean, we have enough personality in this room for the whole team. So we just need to make sure that we're hiring some people that are trainable and willing to do the jobs that we want to, and be proficient in what they do. And we have a standard for our clients that we're looking for too. So I know it sounds fun in games because I try to make it humorous, but to me, I mean, like, I've seen the shit show that we've had, and like, you thought you hired a great thing. I'm going to use a perfect example. Like, my buddy does it, and then he calls me up in the middle of it, and he's like, dude, there's so many fun people and hot girls in the back of the limo. Can you send another driver? Because they want me to party in the back with them. I'm like, dude, you're on a limo trip. What are you doing? You can't be in the back of the limo. Like, this is not what your job is. He's like, dude, this is like the coolest job ever. Like, all these people are so much fun and stuff like this. I'm like, and this is one of my best friends still today. So I'm not going to mark anybody out, Lee Cunningham. But anyways, that's where we were at. Like, so back in the day, that's where the best seated person for this position, that was great. He's a great friend, but like in the limo world, he'd rather have been in the party than driving the party. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, that was very colorful. Thank you for that one.
We didn't use names, but we're kind of popping them in there one out. So he'll find it pretty humorous because he knows exactly what I was talking about.
I don't think I've ever heard that story.
Oh yeah, no, it is no different than he was security for us one time when we were doing the last Abbey, and then they're like, dude, your boy, he's in the middle of dancing with everybody. He's like, dude, the staff shirt really works. Like, people dig this. This is, I got a radio and a mic. I was like, what are you doing? So
I didn't hear that story before either.
That was that was a whole nother lifetime ago.
All right, well, so there you go. That's solid advice right there.
Solid. Like rock solid.
Yeah.
Like Plymouth Rock.
Okay, so the question number 2. Describe the moment.
It only gets better.
Describe the moment you realized you couldn't do it all yourself. What was your first real experience with delegation and how did it go?
The kryptonite. Remember back when we started BAC Transportation, we owned CNG Services too. So I had a snowpine, landscaping, lawn maintenance, painting division, and then we had Box Transportation. And then I had the bright idea of going to the Anchorage Fire Department Academy and being on the fire department down in Girdwood too. So like you talk to trifectos and then being on board of directors and all this other stuff, like, it's just like you spread yourself so thin. Like, you were good at some things and a master of none. So, again, knowing where your strengths and limitations are, I felt like putting in 80 hours or 100 hours a week was there. And, there's a different mindset from when you grow up from, Generation X to everything to Z to where we're at now to these days. It's you worked hard, you did hard, and you made money, and you put away, and that was it. If you didn't put in 60 or 80 hours a week, you were just, you had a 40-hour job. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm not a banker. I didn't work 9 to 5, So all my banker buddies out there and own banks and things like that. Listen, I'm not a 9 to 5 guy. I wasn't a 9 to 5 guy. I was never bred that way. I'd stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, be up at 5 or 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'd go back to do it all over again. And then it was just the constant grind. But, you don't have to live like that. It's not the lifestyle that I choose now. Now I'm more like the 20-hour-a-week guy. I don't mind being on call and take phone calls and do stuff like that, but like I enjoy my time off. I enjoy doing things. I enjoy sitting at my lake house. I enjoy taking phone calls and talking to other business people that are struggling in what they're doing there too. So like you hit that kryptonite level, and I say that just like it sounds like you have to be Superman to do those 80, 100 hours there, but it's rough, and it puts a toll on you, and it puts a toll on your family, your kids, your family, your friends, and things like this. My license plate used to be Busy Guy, BSYGUI.
You were advertising it.
Yeah, I was advertising because I thought it was because that's what everybody said. You're always a busy guy. I'm like, that's my license plate. It was a proud factor that I put in there. Now my proud factor is like we are quadruple 100% our income. Much better than I was in my 2000s area, that we've done much better, and I spend less time doing it. That's my proud factor. My proud factor is that I don't have to work the 100 hours a week to do it. I have people there. And our other proud factor is that we used to make our managers work like these insane hours because we were always busy, but now we really foster them having time off and getting time off. Like, a couple of years in a row now that our managers are not working that 60, 70-hour week, and I'm not driving down to Valdez to pick up a trip and those things. Like, I don't mind doing it. Listen, I rather work outside and then work in the office because that's my personality. I'm not an office guy, but we have a team now that makes it so I don't have to. So I don't miss it as much. Like I came in and drove last Friday, and I had some trips, and I got there and I get to meet some customers, and I drove some customers around, and They were super VIPs from Singapore and things like this, but it was fun. That was fun to me because I got to come in and kind of hang out and be with the guys. And, I think it's important that our team sees us, that we're out there when we are super busy and that we're not sitting at the lake and they're like slammed and they don't have that support. So me, as my thing, I like to come in and help them, but it's by choice. It's not because I have to.
Yeah.
You got any input, or did I just do too much?
No, that was good. That was good. I would say for me, one of the things that I did not love to do was scheduling. And it's such a cornerstone to making sure that everything goes correctly. And as time went by, it took me hours to cross-check the scheduling and to make sure that we were covered in all these different ways. And I had to end the madness. I was like, I spend way too much time on this. Surely there's someone else that can just do this so much faster and so much better than I can. And that was what it was for me, is the schedule.
And we've had that conversation with other people too. Like they've struggled with that too in other companies that we've had. And we're like, listen, we have a scheduling tool now. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, why are we messing around with this? Like, again, innovation, things that are going on in our life that we looked at that have made things easier for us. We just don't have to do those things anymore. So again, we don't have to put in those 80 hours. I mean, I get mad at my wife now because she puts more time than I do now. And I was like, come on.
It's not hard.
Yeah, well, easy now, easy. Don't poke the bear. So it's just, it's been a good thing for us, and I just and we're both trying to get ourselves down to working 3 days a week or whatever else it is. And listen, when there's things that are going wrong, we jump in immediately and take it there. But we have hired the staff that we feel that is complementary to what we're looking for and is running the day-to-day businesses. And and to see them alive where they're at now, I mean, they're flourishing. They're the ones that are wanting to put that extra time and role in their journey in life and to raise their step up too. So I believe that we are. It's like the next generation of leaders that we're helping foster and get to where they need to go.
Absolutely.
And it's given us our time off. I mean, we, as you guys see probably on our Facebook and things like we're doing, and some of our podcasts are going to be from abroad. It's going to be from afar this time. We're going to be doing it from vacations and mentor groups and things that we're doing. And we're going to be doing some of our podcasts from there because they give us the time to be able to do those things and the enjoyment for us to be able to travel and do some stuff. I don't want to be 75 years old and say, hey, let's go to Egypt, and I'm in a walker or a wheelchair or not be able to be the able as where I am now. And of course, my health, fitness, and my journey in that has been part of that thing too. Like I want to travel more. I want to go do more. I enjoy the exercise on that side too. So, we're very fortunate and blessed.
And we pay it forward. So when we're taking a trip, there is some sort of like growth opportunity that we're engaged in on that trip. And we bring that back home and we share it with the others. So it's not just, we're off on a vacation. We do a lot of travel with mastermind groups, and the stuff that we learn there, our team gets to learn also.
And we send some of our team members to these things too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been recognizing the different growth patterns for them to be able to send them some of those. So, be it Awaken, or be it the going to a
industry trade show.
I just booked Brian on going up to one of our EMS conventions. So going up in October. Like he's always wanted to go to one of these things, but it's not. And it just happened to pop up on my feed. So I felt it was imperative that we probably send him because, he's the next leader of that industry of going over there. So why not be able to meet with other industry leaders and then,
start building your own connections.
Yeah, I think we're taking Amy and Adam and some of the team members this year to the
one of the association meetings.
Yeah, one of the association meetings in Vegas. So having that opportunity for them to have that growth on there too is pretty imperative. And they get to see what we get to go see, and then when we're taking some of that education back, they're going to be able to see it right in front, live and center. And I think it helps with those education committees and those other ones. So it just brings it around 100% fold.
Absolutely. And something to consider is, you might have been in your industry, running your organization for several years, but these are individuals that if you share the opportunity with, their perspective is different from yours, and they might see things that you would have never seen otherwise. So it's something to just consider. It's a small commitment financially usually, and the money usually wasn't the issue paying for it. It was, can we spare these people for the weekend? But
again, our mindset.
Yes, absolutely. It's a process, 100%.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I've been privileged to be on a couple of the committees, some of the ones that we've done, and you sit up that and you look at 200 or 300 people. Sometimes there's up 500 or 700 people. It just matters on what the topic is, and you look at them and you see the things clicking. You like in their mind, they're scribbling down information.
The light bulb clicked on.
And we're like, listen, this is all going to be on a slide deck that you could do this. But just like me, I take pictures of everything because then I can look on the plane or wherever else, and I can go back to that history and look at those quotes or sayings. But it's a light bulb turning on. So I believe that it's imperative. So
Yes, and we love to be the ones that are helping the lights turn on. I love light.
yeah, no dim light.
Yes. Okay, so next question. What's one mistake you see leaders make when building a team, and how do you coach people through that?
Geez, I almost feel like it's like question one, like don't hire all your friends and your family. But I mean,
But this is like that you're noticing other leaders that have come to you? Like, is there some, like a repeating pattern that you're seeing other leaders, that, like a mistake, mistake that you're seeing other leaders make?
our assembly, like we're in a, maybe I should get into political, but there is, I'll let you answer this one first. I think I'll be too political on this one.
So I would say people are hiring managers to fix a problem instead of hiring for the future. And that is something that I have noticed. And so what that looks like is, I have a problem. I need somebody to run this shift, instead of, I need somebody who is not only going to fill in these capabilities, but they're also on the trajectory with us to be over here in 3 years where we have it mapped out.
So I think way back in the way days, like I said, hiring a manager, I think they had more skin in the game into it. So we had them as managers, and I've made that mistake in my own size. And it wasn't the right fit, the right person. And they didn't have that right trajectory. They didn't have that mindset. I felt like they had a title and a power, so they were able to do it, and we were counting on them more. So they felt like they had to be more in there, but it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right person. It wasn't the right time for that person to be in there. So,
what are some of the red flags that you noticed over time that you didn't quite notice up front?
Well, I mean, if they weren't an exemplary employee, how are they going to be an exemplary manager? I mean, if they didn't succeed very well at another company, how is it going to be different for our company than it was there? Was it their bad management, or is it a person that wasn't just a good fit? And there's a lot of that happens. Like, they're great people, but they don't get it in the long run. Like, they bring that pattern from here to there, and it's just there. And it might be good, again, like for the first couple, 3, 4 months, but it goes back into that pattern where it's not good for the company. I mean, I can think of one person we had here, and they got rid of our rugs, and they got rid of this stuff, and they did all this stuff, and they thought it was going to be a great supervisor. And we're like, whoa, what happened to this stuff? Well, I didn't like him, so I threw him away. Or I went and got this desk, and I put him here, and then we just had this whole thing. And like,
there was a lot of chaotic energy around the situation.
Yeah, then people were just like, what are we doing here? What is going on? This is not good, positive vibe energy. We need to make sure that this is not good. And then we were learning onto this stuff, and we're like, holy tamale, this is just like, this is a shit show. I mean, this is like there. So how can we stop that madness? What can we do to do that? So,
absolutely. And the other piece, I think, is you instinctively know. You may have second-guessed yourself. You may be doubting yourself in certain aspects of your organization or in your company or your startup. But there are things that if you just take the time to check back in with yourself and go, is this right? And most of the time, you already have the feeling that something's not quite right here. And it's listening to that.
I think we talked about that a little bit in season 2, episode 1 too. Is like, it all comes down to your, I don't know if your gut feeling is it, or it's just your little
intuition.
Your intuition, or that little person on your shoulder saying, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You know what?
You need to leave here right now."
Yeah, and I'm going to take a perfect instance. It's like, our daughter applied for a position somewhere one time that she was looking to advance in the field that she wants to get into, and when she went in there, like the negative vibe that was in there, like it was like this whole entire. And she recognized it immediately. Like she was just like, oh, like this place, like she told us. And it was like, holy tamale, like we taught something she got, because like she was like, this was a negative environment. I could just not see myself there. And we're like, well, thank the Lord that you got to listen to us on some of this stuff, and that you're understanding where that's at. Like you understood that this is not going to be a good fit for you. So
yes, she was able to read the energy in the room. And it's like we used to say, know your audience and know who's in the room, but really now it's like read the energy in the room too, because you can feel it. It's the same energy that a dog senses when somebody's not quite right. They don't know them, but they're growling at them. Or a baby doesn't want to be held by this person. They feel the energy. It's something that we see all the time. And in this case, yeah, I was like, look, I'm so glad that you had this experience, because now you know what it feels like, and now you know what to look for, and this is the road you don't want to go down.
So, you have a lot of positive energy here, and then when she saw the negative energy, it was really, it was here. And if you guys don't know the differences between the energies, I mean, just like be around somebody that's a Debbie Downer all the time, and then be around somebody that's just super positive and awesome, and that's really what it is. I mean, you have to be able to sense the energy in the room of where it's at, and I think you can walk into a room sometimes and sense who's high energy and who's low energy, and then you got to pick which one do you want to be around.
Yeah, and it's really, the positive attitude is a result of the person's energy. It's not the actual thing. Like, we're not shooting for just being positive all the time and fake it till you make it. This is what happens when you have the energy of, yeah, I'm open. Yeah, I'm a solution finder. Yeah, I'm an uplifter. These are all important things to be noticing when you're in different situations.
And there's a season of life everybody has. Like there's some high seasons and low seasons, but your lows can't outweigh your highs. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
It's got to be within your parameters. And if you're a 90-10 guy, then if you're 90% good and 10% like, okay, well, he's had a bad day. And like Athena says, everybody's allowed to have a bad day, not a bad month, not a bad week. It's just like, it can't be every day something bad.
Or just sucking the energy from people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's a system or process you put in place that completely changed your ability to grow and lead more effectively?
So we talked about this a little bit like that, and I said, Athena, I want to say it so bad, but I'm not going to say the word. But anyways, we had a person that we had in management system, and it was just, you talk about that negative drain, like holy tamale, like this guy would bring down the house of negativity, and it was just like, it was combining everybody else in this like little team of his and not ours, or not the whole team in a whole, like he was trying to develop it anyways. And we separated with this team member, and then Athena's like, I was like, she was more of a systems person. She owned her own company at the time, and she's just like, she saw that we were a little bit, I wouldn't say the loss, but we're definitely like, it needed some regrouping and
we had a plethora of opportunity.
Yes, and we were not cashing in on it. So Athena came in. This is my sentence, and I haven't even talked to her about this. I mean, just freely, we talked about this before the podcast, but literally, like that was one of the biggest changes that we made, was like bringing her into the fold, because she has a totally different aspect and things, as you can see as we're talking, like we bring different energies to the company. So her energy was much more. It was a very positive towards the employees for this, changing the mindset, changing the culture, changing this stuff. Like, listen, like guys, I'm not going to be strong. I was more like a headstrong guy. Like, listen, people have a job, they need to do it, they need to come in here and do this. And she's like, we really need to change the culture. And I was like one of the people a little stuck in my own stuff, trying to figure out what that meant. Like the culture, the culture is like, it's 9 to 5. I pay this guy's to his job, and what are we doing? And Dana's like, we're going to come up with this. And she's like, what do you think of goat? And I'm like, goat, And then, so anyways, as you're thinking this, I had to change my perspective of what was going on. So one of the positive things is bringing her onto the company. And And I don't know if this is her aspirations or dream is running a transportation company and being part of this, but she has fell into it and she's done an amazing job, and it's become something she loves and does, and she's turned it into what she sees the positive aspect within the company and how she can make life changes. And I know that's been positive for her. So it's been a win-win, at least on my side. Because it freed up a lot of me, and I have to do this BS stuff that I just didn't want to do, that I wasn't good at. And again, listen guys, it wasn't because I didn't want to be good at it. It's just you have natural abilities to do certain things. And sometimes if that's not your natural ability, are you a plus for your company, or are you a negative for your company? Like, you really have to see what those positives are. Like, I'm a great host. I like hosting people and doing things and being part of that inner circle group that makes everything happen. Connector. Yeah, I'm a great connector. I'm a great innovator, things like that. But yeah, some of those things I have no reason to want to be able to be in that stuff. Like, I tell myself, like, I kid. I used to, when Amy was running HR and stuff, like, a kid, I'm like, I don't know if I could get a job at our company. Like, if I applied, I don't know if you guys would hire me, because that's not what I think they would be looking for at the same time. But that's not what I was applying. I'm not applying for a driver position. Like, I would very excel. We've been in other places where I've had to drive the motor coach for another company, and they're like, this guy's like, dude, I think I can get you a job with my company. I went, really? And it was all business owners, and they're all transportation owners.
You didn't know.
Because the guy wasn't a very good driver, they asked me to drive. So anyways, I laugh about that.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, another story. Time.
You could tell it.
No. Yeah, we were at 20 Group, and we went to Napa Valley, and this guy was trying to sell us some buses, and all business owners in this thing. And I quit drinking a long time ago. I don't drink, and so everybody in our group seems like cocktails and wine, and they're fine wines. And we're out at this place, and Napa Valley, brand new winery, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Food was
A
epic.
lovely
the place
location.
was great and everything like this. But this driver had everybody on edge. Like, I think the drinking went to another level of drinking because they were trying to get over the driver's thing. And so we're in there, and they're like, they're talking about, like, we were so anti-Uber then, like, nobody wanted to do Uber because it was a competition for us. And people were talking about taking Ubers back to their hotel. Like, there was and they're like, Charlie doesn't drink. Charlie, you have a CDL? You have buses, don't you? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, why don't you drive the bus back to us? So they had conformed this plan to our meeting planner, which was, it wasn't Becky at the time. Who was?
It was Arthur.
Arthur and Kathy. And they're like, we can't drive back with this guy. We're going to tell the company, the bus owner, which was the salesman for that you want to buy one of these buses and you want to try it out. So we came up with this concoction why the driver was going to drive, because we didn't have the heart to tell him that he was a horrible driver. So everybody's in there having cocktails and drinking, and I'm doing Temsco Bus 101 because I don't own a Temsco. And it was like a 35-passenger bus, which we own full-size MCIs and motor coaches and Prevosts. And so I go out there and learn the tricks of this trade. So I'm around the parking lot driving this thing, doing this stuff. And this guy is trying to coach me. He's like, okay, this is the bus here, and this is this. And thank you very much.
The guy being the driver?
The guy being the driver,
okay.
And then the Temsco guy that's trying to sell us the buses, because he knows what's up. And it was pretty funny. So I'm taking us back from know nothing about Napa Valley, where we're at. The driver's explaining where we're going.
We're in the boonies a little.
Way in the boonies. No lights, no nothing. And I drive everybody back, and everybody's clapping and applauding. They're like, wow, Charlie, you're such a good driver. And this guy comes up to me and says, listen, he goes, I don't know what you do for a living, but like, you drive bus well. I can talk to the owner and see if I can get you a job. And I just played along. I'm like, really? I'm like, what do you guys pay? And everybody in the background is, just dying laughing. And at the end, they all wanted to tip me and not him. And I said, that's not proper. So we all tipped him out. So again, knowing the right seat for the right place.
Yeah, well, I was just watching that show, as I do on most days. Yeah. So, but yeah, you saved the day that day. Everybody felt safe. Absolutely.
It was definitely, it was something I wasn't expecting on the way there. But definitely I saw the driver, and he was not the right person for the right seat.
Well, and so just noticing that driver, was it that he was nervous about that bus, or like, what do you think it was? It was just awareness of like what the experience was for the clients in the back? Well,
he definitely didn't, and I don't know if all of us, I don't think he was the best driver at all, but I don't think if he knew his audience that we're all leaders in our industry in transportation, that us being highly aware and then him making a couple mistakes that none of us would have made, or our drivers, especially knowing that you're driving 22 business owners of transportation companies that I think our scale at that time was like, over $100 million within revenue between all of us, that this guy would be making those kind of mistakes. It was pretty detrimental to him and his company. I don't think anybody was referring work to that guy's company, knowing that was the level of the person you brought. So, that was just it was just an eye opener towards it. So I laugh about it now because I never expected to drive another company. I don't even know how the insurance policy would have worked.
That probably would have ended badly.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah. I probably ended up having to buy the bus or something like that. But it was just like one of those things that it's comical. We bring it up once in a while when we see the people. You probably remember that time you drove the bus in Napa and that guy was a horrible driver. Yeah, I do.
Well, folks, now those situations occur all the time in our life where Charlie is in a certain place at a certain time, and all of a sudden he becomes the solution to whatever is happening.
I hate sitting watching the Titanic go down, not without a life vest. like not going down with the ship, guys. I'm out. Yeah.
Yes, and you conveniently are always sober. So
yeah, that's the other part.
We just trust me, you're drunk right now.
Yeah, you can't drive.
Okay, well, in all seriousness, he mentioned before that he tends to be on the people connector side, and I am on the people connector side, but in a different facet. And I would say that probably the biggest thing that shifted our organization was implementing the EOS system. That gave me a perspective and an organizational strategy that just cleared the pathway to, it cleared the chaos. And for those of you who have never heard of EOS, it's the Entrepreneurial Operating System. You can Google it. It's like a well-known system. There's implementers. At the time, I happened to be at another mastermind group, and somebody that I met in the group said, "Hey, you seem like, with the level of policies and procedures that you have, that you seem like this would be something that would be a good fit for you guys." And I read the book, and then I read the book again, and I read it again and again, and I had gone over it 5 times to just make sure that I saw the full scope. Like Charlie mentions that 180 view, and I was like, oh my gosh. And really, I think what called in that was, I had my mission that year was this: we are no longer having meetings that we should not be in. The meetings were agonizing. The lack of productivity, the what am I doing in this meeting? This isn't even something I should be in. This should have been an email. I just felt like we were just drifting. And maybe it didn't feel that dramatic for everyone else, but for me, I just saw a different level. And when I read the EOS, the Traction book is actually what the name of the book is, Traction. It changed everything, and I started self-implementing over a period of time, and finding that level 10 meeting that's in that book, that was the start. That was the first thing I implemented, because I was like, our meetings are just agonizing. We're not getting any traction. We're just talking about the same complaints over and over again. There's no accountability. And then the rest of it just started to take flight after that. And this is something that talks to you about why scorecards are important. What is a level 10 meeting, and why is it important? How do you come to a vision? And we did have our core values, our raise up values already implemented, and we did have small facets of what the book had already had as a rollout plan, but this was a nice package with a bow on it. And I just knew it. I knew it deep, that this was the one. And that shifted everything. And that shifted us by millions of dollars in sales. It gave us the foundation that we needed to be able to get to that next growth space. And what I mean by that is earlier we were talking about the question of when you hit the wall, will you hit these ceilings? And for whatever reason, something's bottlenecking you from growing. And sometimes you look around and it could be, oh my gosh, we are doing manual payroll, like manual time cards, and we're like handwriting it. And now we have like 50 people and it's taking forever. And how do we get to the next stage? Like right now, it's not that we don't have enough cars or enough drivers. It's we can't miss a payroll. And so we're putting bunch of hours into closing payroll, or we shifted to a cloud-based reservation system. That was probably like one of our first major shifts.
That was a big lift.
Yeah.
Switching over from the smaller company that we had then that was maybe 100, maybe 500 users to a company that's the largest base now. Limo Anywhere is what we use, and we're one of their largest users. We're one of the biggest ones. We're one of their beta testers, but littler. I mean, like that was a huge lift for us because we could do that from anywhere, and it wasn't nailed down to one PC or whatever else it was, and it wasn't like it went down every year right about the time that the warranty went out.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Just like the day after my system would go down, it's like, oh yeah, no, I can put that back up, but yeah, you have to renew your thing. I'm like, oh my word. But there was some definitely some heavy lifts that we had then, and we were trying to put them together. And I think that we did have a couple of stagnant years that we didn't see a lot of growth, but we didn't see any minusing. And I think if there's only 1 year in our career, I'm usually pretty looking at the numbers that we had a little bit of a lesser year than the other year, and then we started looking at where the contributions were or where the deficits were in that thing, and we saw some serious things that we had some contracts the year before that yielded like $800 to $1 million that we didn't have the year before. So the reason that we didn't have that growth that year was because we had such a huge lift the year before, but now it's it just keeps growing and growing. So we always look at those, and we were talking about that today in the meetings. Like why did this year look differently than that last year? Why don't we put those notes in there? Because a year from now, we might not know why February was such a monster, but we had 6 diverts in 1 month. So that's the reason our cash flow was so much different thing. So it's Athena's right. I mean, operating all these different systems and what she put in and what she adds to it is way different than what I do. So,
well, and that's just how I'm made. I like to see how can we just remove obstacles for the leaders in our organization. And I mean, it trickles down to our friends and others that are coming to us and asking for advice on how did you overcome this? How did you even get this started? What gave you this idea? And it's the chase. Except for my why is how can I make this simple for those around me? And it never ends, and it's fun, and it's full of variety, and that's why I don't actually work any days.
And when she's talking about a level 10 meeting, after our meetings, to give you an idea what it looks like is we rate the meeting. All the people in the meeting give it a 1 to 10, and Athena says that nothing can suck. We can have a meeting that sucks.
No meetings can ever suck.
So if somebody wonders why they hit a 7 on it, it's because
one person gave us a 6 one day, and everything came to a halt, and we talked about it. We extended the meeting and we talked about it.
And that's why some of the meetings, why people think they suck, is because we tell them it's going to get over at 10 o'clock and it gets over at 10:30, and they're like, it was at 8 because we didn't end on time.
So far from
listen,
far.
Just to give you a contents what people thought and why they think the meeting was good or not good. If we ended on time, they were happy about it. But if there's stuff to get out, there's people more happy that we spent extra time to do it than it was ending on time. So there is so many different reasons why it was a 10 or it was an 8 or a 9. But the thing is, we can't never be lower than an 8. I mean, no meeting can be better than an 8. And there's some tough discussions that go in those meetings, why wasn't this implemented? Why did we wait on this? Why did the accident happen and the management team wasn't done there? So people feel themselves a little bit higher or accountable for some of the actions they did. So it might not have been a 10 meeting for them. It might have been an 8 meeting because they were on the spot for something. So we always try to make it a positive meeting and try to make it a 10 just as best as possible.
Well, and part of that is being intentional about how the meeting is laid out. So we have a section at the end where we're talking about high fives for the team. who stands out in your department that we can send a kudos to. We're posting it on our company intranet, and it's also bringing it awareness to the other leaders. So when they see that person, they're like, high five, man, good job on that. Because Charlie and I aren't around here all week long. And so that also gives us some insight into really who's doing this like extra or above and beyond, or just staying consistent and having that congruency in their schedule. But to just be like, and something that was really good that came out of that person that rated it a 6 is he was very vulnerable in that discussion. And he just said, you know what? I don't feel like I was heard about this subject at all. Like, I don't think we had enough discussion about it. I think you guys just kind of pushed me off, and I don't feel good about this, and this is why. And so then we took a few more minutes, and we were like, tell us more.
25 more minutes.
Tell us more. Tell us what else you're seeing. But it's about that open feedback loop too. You have to be willing to receive what's coming through.
100%.
And so he felt way better about the meeting at that point, because he saw he does matter, like what he thinks does matter. And regardless of what our perspective was around, well, we didn't actually do that or whatever, it didn't matter. Like, he was the one who needed to be seen in that moment. And you know who that was?
I do.
It was Doug.
Oh, Doug, Doug was one of them, I remember.
Yeah, Doug was, and Doug's not with us anymore.
Yeah, Doug has passed. He helped us start the ambulance company, him and Pat.
Yeah, and it's like, I look back as one of those memories of Doug where Doug said, no, I'm not just gonna fluff this over. Like, those are the people that we want working with us. It's not about working for us. They're working with us, and we're moving together.
This is a partnership.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's really what we've got, guys, for episode 2. Episode 2, season 2. And we hope this was super valuable for you. And we're looking forward to sharing more interesting insights as we continue to roll out season 2.
Got questions? RaiseUpMindset.com.
Yep.
And then Athena, you tell her about your new thing that you're going on too.
Oh, well, yes. So we've started the Raise Up workshops. And so that's something that we're actually making some of this on demand. So you can pick and choose subjects and go to RaiseUpMindset.com and just kind of have an a la carte of information. I will be introducing some of this system stuff that we've built over here on our corner, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you guys have to see it. And it gives you access to episodes for past episodes she has, and you have a forever library on it, so it's really worth it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. So if you're new to seeing Raise Up Mindset podcast, please check out season 1.
40 episodes.
Yep, you can binge watch all the way to season 2.
It's almost like The Sopranos.
Not exactly.
No, but it's a good show.
Yes.
All right.
So,
See you guys. We'll see you next time. Episode 3 coming up.
bye.
Bye.